If you go anywhere in any building, they're designed to either enhance or deaden acoustics. My name is Jim Zoehrer. I'm the Facilities and Operations Director of the Mount Baker Theater. I've been here since 2004. I started as a lead technician. In 2015, I took over as a technical director, and then eventually the Facilities and Operations Director in 2019.
Well, let me start a little bit with the history of the theater. My name is Daniel Larner. I'm retired Professor Emeritus of Theater at Western Washington University. I've also been a consultant to theater architects, where I met and worked with credentialed acoustical experts. The acoustic properties of this building were pretty decent right from the beginning.
This theater was built in 1926 and opened in 1927. It was a Fox theater. It was built in the silent movie era and was used for vaudeville. This is a movie palace, right? And so it is a Fox theater. So we did movies, and it did some live entertainment, and then from 1983 to present, we focused primarily on live events.
Our experience of sound at a venue, that is a highly tailored sort of experience that both the band, the venue people, and the sound engineer are all working together to craft, to create an experience for the audience to enjoy. My name is Erik Wallace. I am a Bellingham native. I'm a musician. I'm a record producer. I also teach here at Western Washington University through the Audio Technology, Music and Society minor at Fairhaven College. I am also the recording studio manager for both the off-campus Champion Street Sound Studios location and the on-campus Fairhaven recording studio. Yeah, so I always forget because I don't do it as much anymore, but I was a live sound tech for 8 years at the Shakedown and around town. In previous times, the job was very much more sound reinforcement. You were reinforcing sound that was already present on stage. Most spaces where concerts are held are not actually spaces that were acoustically designed for music. For example, the Shakedown is a long brick-lined corridor with very reflective surfaces all over the place, and it's very long, but also narrow. And that's very standard for like rock and hip-hop and pop sort of like venues. There are acoustic issues in the space that you're working in, and so your job, part of what you're doing as the sound engineer is like creatively solving those problems of like, this room has a lot of hard reflective surfaces, which means that cymbals from a drum kit are going to be really shrill and piercing. And so my job as the sound tech is, part of my job as the sound tech is to help figure out ways to make it so that it's less shrill and less piercing.
What makes good acoustics? Well, the basic idea in a theater is that, first of all, the reverberation time has to be right. It can't be too quick or too slow, especially it can't be too slow.
So we have in this building a tendency with our amplification to not have our lower sound waves decay and go away. And so that long wave gets out, we're moving the air along, and it rolls along, it hits the back wall, and then it comes back, and so it just continues to roll before it goes away. Or your acoustic experience starts to become bad as it just, the low waves don't go away, and it tends to turn to mud.
look at the walls. You see those magnificent drapes coming down. I'm proud to say that it was my idea to get drapes on the walls. But I didn't conceive and didn't imagine the wonderful way that it was done. Some of it hits all the complications in the Moorish windows, and you wouldn't believe how much it makes the sound bounce around. Some of it hits the drapes and gets deadened or bounced different ways. And it helps enormously. Secondly, there can't be anything to focus the sound. It has to bounce around and get mixed up. And this is good for everything live. If it's too focused, like we do have a huge focuser in this building, the dome, okay, is a big problem, right? Sound gets up in there, it gets focused like on a satellite dish, right? Comes pouring down right in the center of the house, doesn't go anywhere else. So we have to prevent much sound from getting up there. So it gives you some idea of the complication of this acoustic art, this scientific art that you make the calculation, but you never know whether it's going to be right until you sit down and listen. And now we seem to have gotten things right for a while. We'll see, because as you can tell, acoustics is cultural as well as physical. It's generational. So we'll see. We'll see how things evolve and what has to be done next. The only thing you can be sure of is that something will have to be done next.